So let's go and bring in the cool features we have for our items. For example, when we can basically two-hand every type of weapon we have, which is really cool. So how should we do this? First of all, let's go and create everything that we already have, and we don't need to write new scripts, which means into our data, for example, we can go onto our mono actions, onto our inputs. Okay, we have all of this. Let's create a new button, an input button. First of all, let's duplicate one of these, and this is going to be the Y input. Let's change the target button to Y on down, and we don't want the LT controller. However, it's not taking from controller axis yet, at least. And let's go to edit, project settings, input. The key for this is of course Y on the keyboard, and we also have the Y on the joystick button tree. So that is our input. Let's go on to our input manager then and start writing and adding a few things. For example, we can say public input button Y input, and down here Y input execute. Now on our state manager we're going to have to add, or better yet on the inventor manager, I guess, on our inventory we're going to go and say, let's remove that. We're going to add a bool. Actually, you know what? Let's do this on the state manager. Ignore the inventory, even though it has to do with the inventory. We're going to say public bool is two-handed. Okay, so in case you need a refresher after about more than 100 videos, the way it works on Dark Souls is you have a weapon. Doesn't matter if it's a small one or is a large one. Okay, you press the Y and you two-hand it, which is, I think it's a really cool and innovative way of doing it. And then on the input manager, whenever you are pressing any of this, player states dot value dot is two-handed equals, and actually instead of doing that we're going to say if Y input dot is pressed, then player states dot value dot is two-handed will be the opposite of player states dot value dot is two-handed. If player states then dot value is two-handed, we're going to be doing something here, otherwise we're going to be doing something else. Now for this, however, we're going to go and assign. We can do this, I think I prefer if we do this as an action, or I guess I guess it wouldn't really matter that much. So let's say our inventory, we're going to go over here inside our inventory. I'm going to say public void assign, well, just say two-handed, and say a bool is two-handed. We're going to need also the animator, so let's pass the animator as well. Okay, so going back over here, let's remove all of this. Just say player states dot value is two-handed, not player value dot inventory dot two-handed, and pass the player states dot value dot animator and the actual value dot is two-handed. So back to the inventory. Over here we first need to check if is two-handed right now or if you are not two-handed. Okay. We also need to know in both of these we're going to say runtime weapon, target weapon, and we're going to assign it first as the right hand weapon. If the target weapon for whatever reason is not null, so that means we don't have, actually let's see why, yeah, it's exactly the weapon, so let's assign it as a weapon, just as a weapon. If it's not null, so we only placed a weapon onto the left hand, we're going to say target weapon, set it to the left hand weapon. Okay, in reality you're never going to be out of weapons. If you are not having an item, you're going to have the default, your default hands, so you'll be unarmed. So for now this will be fine. So we have our target weapon. Then we need to know if this is we're going to say bull is left hand. We're going to say false and turn it to true in here. For when we are two-handed, if you remember onto our animator, we have different logics over here. We have left hand, we have the right hand, and we have the both hands. For now, we're going to let the items decide which of these animations are going to play, either the great sword two-handed or the two-handed. Okay, and we can say equip animation. We can play this animation first, or maybe not, we'll see. Okay, so let's go onto our items, into our weapons themselves. Go definition, and we can just assign it over here, I guess. Public string idle anim, public string tough h idle anim. Okay, so back to the inventory. If you are two-handed, then on your animation you need to play, or crossfade, I guess, crossfade to anim dot not anim, into target weapon dot tough h idle animation. And from this can be 0.2. Okay, standard stuff. However, if you're not, we can actually, I guess we could mirror this as well, this animation. But anyway, if you're not on if you're not going to, well, you're going the opposite way, I guess, then you can say string target anim will start as the target weapon dot idle animation plus a ternary, so let's do over here, is left hand. Okay, and if it is, add the prefix of the L, otherwise add the prefix of the right. Then animation crossfade target animation. Okay, awesome. So with this in mind, this does place the target animation, This will only cover the animations. We still need to cover the actions, but for that let's hold on, for example, for a second, and let's see. Let's try this. For example, let's go onto our axis, or well, both of our axes, and set the idle animation to empty both. I think this is just empty R, or well, just empty. Two-hand idle animation, let's say tough H idle. Before we do that, we're going to say target weapon, okay, target weapon, left hand weapon. So if target weapon is not equals the left hand weapon, however, that means we have two weapons, we're holding two weapons, so that means left hand weapon dot runtime dot model instance set active to false. Okay, because that means we change weapons. Then for now we're going to set it as false. Okay, but if we are doing the same thing over here, then we need to be making it true. We should also be checking if left weapon is not null, and also here if left weapon is not null. Okay, so this will play the empty either for the right hand or the left hand, as you see over here. We'll add the prefixes, and when going back from here, however, we're going to be saying anim.play empty both. So it moves from, or the both hands, it moves from any of the states back to the empty both. We can also switch from the interactions, the change weapon, so we're not going to need this. Right hand, whole spell loop, full spell end. Oh, it's idle. Okay, so you can go on to which one of these. Oh, it's idle. Okay, let's take this, I guess. Oh, it's idle on the axe and say, oh, it's idle. So we need to go and assign on our input manager the Y input, and let's hit play. Okay, so when hitting Y, we still have one small issue. We didn't, the left hand didn't close for whatever reason. Okay, so let's go and see why that is. Maybe it's the model instance that is off. Let's say left hand weapon dot runtime dot weapon hook dot game object set active, set it to false if target weapon is not null. Oh, this should be if target weapon is null. So yeah, that was correct. Weapon hook game object set active. Yeah, okay. So this will now be correct. Okay, so now we still play the same animations, however, as you can see, which is an issue. What should really be happening is we're going to assign a new variable which is going to say the two-handed weapon, So this will be a public weapon, two-handed weapon, get, return, and we also need a private weapon, two-handed weapon, and this will be returning this one. Okay, so whenever we assign the two-handed weapon over here, two-handed, we're going to be saying, let's see, let's have target weapon. If it's indeed two-handed weapon, it's going to be assigning the target weapon. Otherwise, it's going to be assigning this. It's going to be returning it to null. We do know we can play the animation for changing weapon. I'm going to say change weapon. This plays on top of all of the other states, so let's put it down here so you don't get confused by the order. Okay, so we have our two-handed weapon, we have everything else. We're also playing the change weapon. Let's make sure that's the actual name we want on the animator. Change weapon, okay. Then when we are monitoring our attacks, which should be into the state actions now, we have all of this. Let's say attack responses, disable stun, humanoid can be parried, monitor parrying, movement animate, no. Okay, monitor attack input. We have the attack response, which we execute, and the attack response is of course over here. Play item action, open it up, and depending on if what we are pressing, and depending if we have all of this, okay, depending if we have a left weapon or a right hand weapon, all of that. But let's change this and say void two-handed action, pass the state manager, of course, states, and then we're going to say if states dot is two-handed, then, well, of course return, but call the two-handed action and say states. So similarly over here we're going to get the switch for input button value, and through all of this now we're going to be accessing the weapon we have on the, let's see, right hand weapon. Instead of the right hand weapon, we now want the two-handed weapon. Because it's only one, we can store it in here, say weapon w states.inventory two-handed weapon. Okay, and we now need to go onto our weapons, onto all of our weapons, and assign actions when two-handed. Okay, so back to our weapons over here, we're going to say target action actually target action is item actions over here. Okay, we're going to do the same logic. Target action, and target action again, set it over here. Then we want right hand, instead of right hand weapon we want the two-handed weapon, get item action. So by process of elimination we can remove entirely this switch statement. Okay, and go from here. His mirror will be false for now, and we just let this execute. Okay, minimize that. So we now need to go and create two-handed actions for our axe. Let's find the axe, close this in here. Let's find this. I'm going to duplicate this. Let's go to our animator. Let's see which actions we have. We don't have yeah, we don't have any two-handed actions, unfortunately. Okay, we'll create some. So for now I'm going to go and say th attack 1, again th attack 1, and duplicate it 3 times. 3 and 2. Let's duplicate this, paste them. We have them down here now. Move them up here. Make transitions back to the empty override. And just change the name to th attack 1, th attack 2, and th attack 3. I'm going to switch these animations and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I have my attacks over here, and let's clear that, hit game, and we need to add those onto our axe or other weapons, I guess. And we have them over here: th attack 1, th attack 2, th attack 3, and for left trigger, just I'm going to assign the parry, whatever, I don't really care, and we're going to hit play. So when normally attacking with two hands, everything works as before. When switching to two-handed, yeah, I guess we should be actually oh, yeah, here's the thing. On the play item actions, the get item actions returns you one of these, but it's not the ones we need this. So similarly, let's do a copy, let's do a paste, and let's call this get two-handed item actions. And instead of this, let's just add the prefix h, th, 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 and th. Okay, copy this, play item action, get two-handed item actions, and hit play, and we should be playing now the correct animations or the correct attacks. Okay, I think we have a wrong animation playing in one of them. Let's see, th attack 1, th attack 2, th attack 3, and inside the animator okay, let's see, target animation, where does this coming from? Play animation, attack item action, state manager, animation. Hold on for a second. Yeah, silly me, this is actually the wrong animator. Anyway, that's what I get for changing characters. So I'm going to paste these actions into the new into the correct animator. Okay, and everything works fine. Okay, I was using a different animator for the big fella over here rather than the one I have on my controller. That's why we had that error. Anyway, you probably won't have the same error. Okay, so hit play and let's try it. And voila, we play a different animation. We do have the animation events, or I do have them on my animations. That's why I'm getting those errors. So obviously I'll need to actually do something with them. But yeah, you can see we have our animations back. Okay, no matter. Let's finish with this. I'm going to remove the animation events from all of this. I'm going to remove them offline. No need to do this. We have done this so many times. I'm fairly sure you know how to fix those. So, as always, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, then consider supporting me on Patreon so we can keep making all of these beautiful things. I'll see you next time.